Dexter, I think we've actually made a useful video for once.
What did I say? During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest.
No.
Well, hello everyone. It's us, the bird, the dog, and the buffoon, back again with another video helping you to take, or hopefully helping you to take, better macro images. And this week we're going to take a look at taking those close-up images without the aid of a safety net. I mean, without the aid of a macro lens. Now, you can get really great close-up images with any lens these days, particularly with, you know, a higher resolution camera and then cropping right into your image. But where is the fun in that? And if you want to get really, really close to your subject, then you will need a dedicated macro lens or some sort of adapter enabling closer focusing with whatever lens you choose. And it's those adapters we're going to have a look at today. Now, I've covered the most common ones in my guide to macro photography, available to download free of charge, of course, from my blog. And there's a link in the video description if you'd like to go and take a look. There's always a link these days to my blog, isn't there? Don't go now, obviously, but later on. In it, Dex. Anyway, these methods are in increasing order of expense: some extension tubes, a reversing ring, or a magnifying lens of some sort. Now, let's look at each item in closer detail before going to try them out and taking some images with them. And I'll link to the ones I've used in this video in the description below. Now, first up is a set of extension tubes. Now, you can buy cheap and get a set with no electronic pass-through contacts, or spend a little bit more and get a set with said contacts, maintaining communication between the camera and your lens. Now, this isn't really important for autofocus, as likely you'll be manually focusing at such a close range anyway. But for full EXIF data, you might want to spend that little bit extra. Anyway, basically these tubes fit between your camera's lens mount and the lens itself, and therefore obviously you would need to buy one for your particular camera make and lens mount. Now, they usually come in a set of 2 or 3 tubes, and the El Cheapo, well under £10 set I have, consists of 7, 14 and 21mm tubes. Of course, you can then use them individually or in whatever combination you like, though my testing has shown that lengthening the gap between camera and lens doesn't make a huge difference to how close you can get. Next up is the reversing ring. Now, all this device does really is allow you to essentially mount whatever lens you like onto your camera, only backwards. So with the front element now being at the back and the rear one at the front. Don't ask me how this works, as I've no idea. Anyway, you'll need to get a ring to fit your particular camera's lens mount, so a Fujifilm X mount in my case, and then with a threaded attachment at the other end to fit the filter thread of whatever lens you want to use. So you need to pick, like, obviously lens mount, and then I got a 52mm thread for my 35mm lens that I used throughout this video. Now, one unexpected bonus with this method is that you can use pretty well any lens from any manufacturer, because the lens mounts to your camera via the filter thread and not the camera's lens mount. So as long as the lens has a thread, you can mount it to your camera via the ring. Lastly, but not leastly, is the magnifying lens attachment adapter thing. I have a Raynox DCR 250 model, but there are others available. And essentially what they do is increase your lens's magnification ratio. Easy. Now, for ease of use and compatibility, these are hard to beat. They attach to the end of your lens via a spring mount without any need to take your lens off the camera. Compatibility isn't a problem either with any make of lens really being able to use, but just one word of caution or caveat, with the Raynox in particular, it fits lenses with a maximum thread of 67mm. Of course, if your lens's filter thread is larger, you can get a step-down ring to adapt it to fit. It also has its own 49mm front filter thread, enabling you to mount, say, a circular polarizing filter to it. Right then, here is a montage of the shot. Yeah, I took of a leaf, of course. What else did you expect? With whatever adapter I used, together with the closest focus distance achievable with each method, also shown. After looking at all those shots, it's the images from the Raynox that I actually prefer. Depth of field isn't compromised to the same extent as with the reversing ring and tubes, rendering a clear image, to my eye anyway. It also wins out on ease of use by a mile. No removing the lens and fiddling about with screwing things on or off. Just a simple clip onto the front element and #boom, you're at the races. Or you're closer, closer to the races. So there you go, macro without a macro lens. It is doable so long as you're aware of and willing to work with the shortcomings, really. But get the Raynox, or a similar adapter. It really is the easiest method, and to my eye, retains the most image quality and fidelity. Anyway, please go and take a look at my macro photography guide on my blog, along with numerous other ebooks and guides, all available free of charge. Right, until next time, which I think will probably be our March nature bimble, be nice to each other, okay? Ta-ra.